Nitai Gora Hariba Nitai Gora Nitai Gora Hariba नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming today. Today is a very, very auspicious day, as you all know. This is the 150th appearance day of His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, Srila Prabhupada, who is the spiritual master of our Srila Prabhupada. So this is a very special occasion for all of us, and thank you all for coming. I will first announce what our program is today, and I would request Sundari Leela and Devi Murthy, both of you, when it is time, you have to distribute these flowers in the hands of the people. Let me explain, because there are new visitors here also. Thank you all for coming. So this whole month we have been doing various celebrations to glorify His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. He was known as a Lion Guru. He was such a wonderful spiritual master, and we have been hearing his glories. We had videos playing here morning and evening. We have banners and posters put outside for public awareness. We had a couple of Sunday feast classes by His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. Today you will be hearing more about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. So today's program, we will begin with the Pushpanjali. I will chant some prayers and you can repeat after me. And in the end, we will be repeating the prayers specific to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura 3 times. And when we say Esha Pushpanjali, you will put the flowers at his lotus feet. And this we will be doing 3 times. But you will be receiving the flowers only 1 time in your hand. So don't throw all the flowers at the same time. Hold it back for 2nd time and 3rd time. some Matajis here, Devi Murti Mataji and Sundari Leela will be distributing the flowers. You hold it until the end. After that, we will have Guru Puja. Mukunda will be singing the Guru Puja song, and His Grace Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu will be doing the Aarti. Following that, we will have a very nice discussion on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. Two devotees, one is His Grace Gopal Hari Das Prabhu and His Grace Yamuna Jivan Das Prabhu. They will be giving a class. And after that, we have children's drama and then prasadam downstairs. So it will be nice if you all can come a little bit closer here, everybody. And children can come too. And Matajis will distribute the flowers. It will be nice if you don't put your back to the deities. Maybe sideways, it will be very nice if everybody can do that. Yeah. So now I will be chanting these prayers. Please repeat after me. Om Atnana Timirandhasya Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatantvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Sri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vitnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिता श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्री मूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्ध अपसिद्धांत द्वंद्वहारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलंबर संबोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्ट सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छात् कल्पतरो भयश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। जयतं सुरतौ पंगोर मम मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यात् वृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमदः श्रीमद्रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेस्तालिभिः सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवडतटस्थितः कर्षान्वेणुस्वनैर्गोपीर् गोपीनाथ श्रियेस्तु नः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Now we will be chanting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Pranam. 3 times, and every time I say Esha Pushpanjali, you put some flowers, not all the flowers. Okay? All right. At the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vitnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanugha Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvandvaharine Esha Pushpanjali. Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vitnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvandvaharine Esha Pushpanjali. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati iti namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabdhaye Krishna Sambandha Vitnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Apasiddhanta Dvandvaharine Esha Pushpanjali. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki. Now we'll do the Aarti. Everybody can participate in the Aarti.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samsaradava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karunya Gana Ganatvam Samsaradava Tranaya Karunya Gana Praptasya kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guroshi Charanaravindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasora Sena Vaditra Romanchakam Pashutarangabhajo Vande Guroshi Charanarabindam Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityanana Shingaratan Mandira Majanado Hari Bhakta Sangha Kritva eva triptim bhajata sadaiva Vande Guroshi Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhavayorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanamnam Pratikshana Swadana Lolupasya Vande Guroshi Charanarvindam Nikunjayuno Ratikeli Siddhar Yayali Bir Yuktirapikshaniya Yayali Bir Yuktirapikshaniya Tatrati Daksha Dati Vallabhasya Vande Guroshi Charanarvindam साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्र उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव साध्भिः किन्तु प्रबोध्य प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान् नगदी कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्तु वां तस्य यस्य स्त्रीसान्ध्याम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् 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 नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त स्वामी इति नामिने नमो कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त स्वामी निति नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे नमस्ते गौरवाणी Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Prabhupada. Jaya Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari
Narvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Vyamishrapat Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Stotra Shata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. The most holy and auspicious appearance day, 150th appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तविंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय. मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय. पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. The most merciful lordships Shri Shri Radha Syamasundar ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Samvita Bhaktavinda ki jai, Nitai Gau Premanande. All glorious assembled devotees, all glorious assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Can everybody come forward because our speakers are on this side? Please give a warm welcome to His Grace Gopal Haridas Prabhu. You are welcome forward and take a seat. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You came to this way.
So we'll start with the bhajan. This is in glorification of the Vaishnava Acharyas, because today we are celebrating the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, seated there. So this is a very beautiful bhajan written by Narottam Das Thakur, who was one of the favorite, you could say, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura really would take great pleasure in singing the bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur. In fact, he was an avid connoisseur of his bhajans. He would sing them for hours. So this is a bhajan written by Narottam Das Thakur. So I'll read the translation before we start. O Vaishnav Goswami, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen souls. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality, by whose mere audience all sins go far away? After bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified, but just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. I desire the dust of your holy feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottam yours and be kind upon him. So the Vaishnava Goswami here is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura. So we can pray to him. He was very extraordinary. He was Nayana Manjari in his spiritual form. So he was a completely liberated, he was a liberated personality who appears in this world just for our benefit, for our upliftment. So he has all of these qualities that we are singing about in this verse, in this song. So yes, we have it here. Perfect. Vaishnava Gosha Nivaraka Runa Koro Nivaraka Runa Koro Vaishnava Gosha Devaraka Patita Pavana Toma Bineke Hona Patita Pavana Patita Pavana Toma Bineke Hona Patita Pavana Jaharani Kate Gele Papa Dure Jaharani Kate Gele মনা দয়ালা প্রভু কেবা কোঠ পাওয়া হে মনা দয়ালা গঙ্গার পরশা হইলে পাশাতে পাওয়া দর্শনে পবিত্রা তোরা যে তোমার গো দর্শনে পবিত্রা হরিস্থানে আপরাধে তারে হরিনা হরিস্থানে আপ তোমার স্থানে আপা রাধে নাহি পরিত্রা তোমার স্থানে আপা তোমার স্থানে আপা রাধে নাহি পরিত্রা তোমার স্থানে আপা তোমার হৃদয়ে সদা গোবিন্দ বিশা তোমার হৃদয় গোবিন্দ কহিনা মোরা বৈষ্ণব পরা গোবিন্দ কহিনা প্রতি জন্মে করে আশা চরণে রাধুল নারতমে কর দয়া আপনার বল নারতমে কর নারতমে কর দয়া আপনার বলে জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর জয় ভক্তি Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. I actually wanted to do some show and tell, as they do in school, right? Just to show how much is written on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. This is his biography, the most comprehensive biography that's there. And for a long time it just sat on my shelf, and I thought, okay, we have so many books, it's one more set of books. But as as many of us know, and we'll further relish today, his life is so amazing. It's so amazing. This is a book that once you start reading, it's hard to put down. It's hard to keep away. And then this book here, it's called Modern Hindu Personalism, The History, Life and Thought of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati by Ferdinando Sardello. He's actually Pranava Prabhu from Sweden. And he wrote this book as his dissertation. It's published by a mainstream academic publisher, Oxford University Press. And he's written the entire biography of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura for the general public, so people can appreciate it and understand its contributions. And he also came out with a lot of things that people don't know about. Like, for example, that some of his early disciples were sent by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura to Germany, and there they met the high government officials of the German leadership, who were like number 2 to Adolf Hitler. And this was before Hitler did everything horrible that he did, so they didn't know what was to happen, but they were connecting with people of that caliber in London, in Germany, in so many places in Europe. Because at that time, before Srila Prabhupada came to America, Europe was the center of westernization, of modernization. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura knew by his immense spiritual potency that America would become sort of the leader in the world in terms of material advancement. People would be turning to America. So quite amazingly, at a time where America had virtually no significance, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura sent Srila Prabhupada to America. Right? He gave him the instruction to go to America. So many very wonderful things are told here. And I didn't have a hard copy of it, but the third biography that I'm aware of, which is almost kind of favorite one, is The Ray of Vishnu, that we read together. Premananda Mataji and many devotees here read for some time. So there's so much material, and we were trying to do something in a few minutes. So, Om Jnanam Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Yadati Swapadantikam Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Vipasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, Yamuna Jivan Prabhu wanted me to go first. That's why I'm going first. we save the best for the last. So I quickly agreed to that. So I thought, well, there's so many aspects to his life, and which aspect, we decided we'll just try to focus on different aspects of his life. And one of the things that we quickly realized about him is that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura was outstanding, exemplary in every aspect of spiritual life, right? In every way, he was like the best and the perfect acharya, the perfect example. As I mentioned before, he was Nayana Mani Manjari in the spiritual world, which he himself revealed to his, to the devotees at that time. Not really revealed, but suggested, indicated, and they understood. And Nayana Mani Manjari, she is always with Srimati Radharani. She's the Manjari who's right next to Srimati Radharani. In fact, her name means Nayana Mani, meaning the jewel of Srimati Radharani's eyes. So she's the jewel of Srimati Radharani's eyes, meaning she's always there, and she never leaves her side. And so he's spiritual life, par excellence. He knows everything about the spiritual world, how we get to that place, and we see by learning about his life how much he was the foundation of Srila Prabhupada's movement and Srila Prabhupada's life. So I thought, well, the most kind of, the acharya, the mind of a pure devotee is impossible to understand, right? So maybe the most accessible aspect of him is his attachment, his teachings on the holy name. And it's a very special also aspect of him, because in this world we all want to be a billionaire, right? Who wants to be a billionaire? I certainly want to be a billionaire. Yes. So we all want to be a billionaire, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura in our tradition was the billionaire, right? People don't know this aspect of his life. This is why he was able to build 64 mattas, 64 temples, because he was a billionaire. And he had chanted 1 billion names of the Lord in the course of 9 years. Therefore, he's known as the spiritual billionaire. So he took a very great vow to chant for 9 years continuously. And he calculated that if he chanted 300,000 names a day, then he would complete 1 billion names in 9 years. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura was intellectually very brilliant. He was offered the chair of astronomy at the University of Calcutta. He was at a very young age, sort of like a Newton of his time, of his place, and he purposely turned away from it, because his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was a pure devotee of the Lord and very much like his spiritual master, one of his spiritual masters, he told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura that too much learning is not good. Those who study too much, they either become proud or they become diverted. So he took that very seriously, and he said, my main task is Krishna Bhakti, right, is devotional service to Krishna. So at a very young age, he did his studies. He was very brilliant. He memorized the whole Bhagavad Gita by the age of 7. He knew it by heart. And he translated the Surya Siddhanta, which is the hardest work of Sanskrit. Like, Sanskrit is hard enough, but then a book on Sanskrit astronomy is like, you have to have knowledge of astronomy, of all the different Puranas, the mathematics. And to this day, no one in the world is able to make sense of the Vedic astronomy, even with his translation of Surya Siddhanta, which he so easily, translated. So he gave up his learning at a young age, and before he embarked on his mission, the mission that he had been given by his father to continue it, to spread it all over India, all over the world through his disciple, but all over the world, he said, I will prepare. He wanted to prepare for it, and so he took this vow to chant 1 billion names of the Lord. So, like Haridas Thakur, he chanted 300,000 names a day. And one of the things that is particularly mentioned in his biography is that he chanted very slowly and very carefully and in a very sweet voice, very nicely. And so imagine 300,000 names, plus he wasn't rushing to them, because I thought, oh, he must be going really fast. The acharyas have mystic powers, so he probably finished them in like 7 hours, But no, he took his time. And so he would chant 300,000 names, and he was situated in a hut near Yoga Pit. Plus he would meet the guests who came to visit him. Plus he was overseeing the management of the Yoga Pit. He hadn't started his own mattas, but Yoga Pit, which is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, is there. He was looking after that as well, and plus he was doing his writing work. So time is transcendental in the hands of a devotee, right? So he was virtually not sleeping. And this is actually one of the things that comes through in his teachings to his disciples on japa. He actually instructed all of his disciples to chant 64 rounds every day, which is what Srila Prabhupada brought to us initially. And it's very interesting, this history, and that's why it really opened my eyes. So I have like 2 more minutes, right? Yeah. We were going until 7:45. So I'll finish up with it. Yes. He was so amazing that he wanted his disciples to do 64 rounds every day. But at the same time, one of the teachings that he gave is that seva and mala are non-different. He kept all the Mattavasis busy with multifarious services. And he said that seva and mala, chanting on beads and serving the Lord, or chanting in general and serving, are non-different. And that a sincere service, attitude of service, is the very essence of chanting, without cultivating which even chanting all day and night is of little value. He told his disciples. So he wouldn't let them off the seva. He said, you have to do seva during the day. You can't just be chanting during the day. You have to be doing seva because we have a preaching mission. And so his disciples would come and complain to him. They would say, Srila Prabhupada, they refer to him as Prabhupada also, we have so many services, we can't find time to chant 64 rounds. So he said, his response was, during the day, remain busy in service. Due to other engagements, you might not chant 1,00,000. But that should be your aim. 1,00,000 naam. 100,000 names means, 1,00,000 means 100,000. That means 64 rounds. If sometimes you're too busy during the day to chant your mala, then instead of taking rest at night, chant. So that was his standard for chanting 64 rounds. He said that we should all chant, but there's no excuse for not doing seva. It's a replacement for sleep. So at night you should chant, and the day you should do your mala. Then instead of taking rest at night, chant. If you cannot finish your prescribed japa, then sleep less and chant. Do not increase your time for sleeping. Increase your chanting. Kirtaniya sada hari. Always chant the holy name. Wake up with the holy name. Go on chanting throughout the day and go to sleep with the holy name. If you practice this, naturally you will also chant while sleeping. Isn't it so amazing? You do this day when you wake up during the day and the evening, then at night also you will chant while sleeping. And a very reputed source, Prabhupada disciple, actually told me that there's one incident with Srila Prabhupada where a disciple asked our Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, you're saying we always need to chant. But Srila Prabhupada, you're doing so many things, you're managing, you're doing this and that. When are you always chanting? How are you always chanting? How are you always chanting? And Srila Prabhupada said, put your ear to my back. The disciple put his ear to my back. And he said he could hear the chanting going on in Srila Prabhupada's heart. So they're always chanting within their mind. And this is one of Prabhupada's instructions also, that we should always be chanting. 16 rounds is what we do on beads, but we should always be chanting. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also stated that without service to Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, chanting many malas is simply blather. And he instructed followers to always perform service while simultaneously chanting Harinam. So I used to think, that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's instruction of 64 rounds was for the resident swamis, was for the brahmacharis, was for the vanaprasthas, but for the householders, he had said 16 rounds. Right? That was my conception, that this is how what he had given. But that was actually not the case. He said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati considered chanting 1 lakh of names more important for grahasthas than for the matavasis. The matavasis being the pujaris, the full-time preachers, the devotees. Because matavasis are always engaged in Krishna seva, whereas most householders' focus is on earning for family maintenance. So his solution was simple. He said that in the evening, after their daily work, grahasthas should attend the matha, and that if it were necessary for completing 1 lakh of names, they should chant throughout the night. But the majority of householders could not live up to this ideal. And then, that was it. And then one last point in terms of the relationship between seva, preaching, and chanting. So this was the ideal, right? So then what was kind of in practice? Understanding the plight of many grahasthas, Srila Saraswati Thakura advised some who had Harinam but not Diksha, and who did not live at the matha, to chant at least 4 malas. And he instructed others just to chant without specifying any particular number of malas. Now remember, this is those who didn't have Diksha. He exhorted that tulsi beads should not fast. Every day they should be chanted on. Usually householders were simply given beads and told to chant as much as possible. So chant as much as possible. But what was the bare minimum? His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada stated that in his household life, he chanted 16 malas daily. So we see how when Srila Prabhupada unfolded his pastimes here, how he perfectly epitomized this, right? How he taught and it was recorded, and this is what he had the exactly same mood as his spiritual master. Some people think, oh, he changed it for the Westerners or this or that. But Srila Prabhupada first told his disciples chant 64 rounds. They said, Srila Prabhupada, too much, can't do this. He said, okay, do 32. So can't do this. And then he said 16. Then they came back and said, can't do this, Prabhupada, can't do this. And he said, bas, no less, you must do 16, right? So that's the same thing that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura was allowing, because Prabhupada himself as a householder said that he was doing 16 rounds every day. And so he was doing that 16 rounds every day, and he was doing it, that was the bare minimum, but above and beyond that, he wanted us to endeavor to reach the 64 rounds, and that's what Prabhupada also said, but not in place of our service, but in place of our sleep. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Maharaj ki.
It's hard to stop, just hearing that. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This year especially, when I started to meditate on Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura's appearance day and read this book a little bit, I'd read it before, but I was trying to read it again. Prabhupada would say, people know that God is great, but they do not know how great He is. So my thought was, I know that Bhaktisiddhanta is great, but I really don't know how great he is as I started to read this book again. The quality of Krishna that is often quoted by Prabhupada is that Krishna has these dual facets to his personality. Vajrad api kathora, kusum api kamala. Vajrad is lightning bolt. Api kathora, that even more harder than a lightning bolt. Kusum api kamala, even softer than a rose. One of the formidable or foremost connoisseurs of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura in our movement is the author of this book, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. In fact, just today or yesterday, in Mayapur, when they were celebrating Bhaktisiddhanta's 150th anniversary, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was invited to speak to all of to the exalted assembly there. Especially because of his deep research and meditation. I can just imagine how much hard work Bhakti Vikas Maharaj went through to compile this literature for us. Something that I experienced just a little bit as you read this book. Consciousness goes up. You feel connected to the Acharya. And these contradictory features of the Acharya come out. Vajradapi Kathora, this hard, like Mataji was saying, Premananda Mataji was saying, Simha Guru or Lion Guru. He was hard, he was strong. At the same time, he was soft as a rose. So I was going to tell some stories related to these two facets of Bhaktisiddhanta, if you will permit me. Prabhupada's deepest, when you hear lectures of Prabhupada speaking about his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, Prabhupada often would go to speaking about his determination. And the recent one I heard, Prabhupada spoke of two facets of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura's determination. When he was a little kid, many people know the story, but I'll say it again. When he was a little kid, Prabhupada said 2 or 3 years old, he was, his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, had brought some mangoes to the house, and as a young boy, he ate a mango. His father said, "What are you doing? We haven't offered it to Thakurji. You have to first offer it to Thakur, to the Lord, before you can eat." And from that day on, he made a vow, he made a promise, "I will never eat a mango again, I'm an offender." 2 or 3 years old, Prabhupada. He was so intense. And even as an adult, as a world acharya, he had established 64 mats. People looked up to him like this amazing personality, right? They had such reverence and admiration for him. And they offered him some mangoes, and he looked at them and he says, "I'm an offender." It's just unfathomable, his degree of determination and his strength of resolution and conviction. Prabhupada gave another example. He said that this happened in his own personal presence. Prabhupada said, my personal presence. One of his friends, you may have heard of O.B.L. Kapoor, who was Bhaktisiddhanta's disciple, Grihastha disciple as well. So one time they were with Prabhupada, all three of them, Srila Prabhupada, O.B.L. Kapoor and his wife. And his wife said to Bhaktisiddhanta, "I'd like to meet with you in private. I have something to talk to you about." He says, "No, you can talk to me in front of everyone." He said, "No, this is something personal that I'd like to talk to you in private." He said, "No, I am a sannyasi. And just like Mahaprabhu, he would not associate with women intimately. I cannot do it. I just cannot do it. Whatever you have to say it in public." Prabhupada gave this as another example of his determination. This Kathora is strong like a thunderbolt. Here's another one. He was invited by a Maharaj. I don't remember the exact place it was, but he was invited Maharaj to be with, people are quite ritualistic sometimes in India and don't really value the speaking and the speech of the pure devotee. The most valuable aspect of a pure devotee is a Harikatha. And Bhaktisiddhanta was not invited to speak. He was only invited to come and give blessings. So he didn't eat at all the entire time. He was there for a few days. He didn't eat the entire time. He said, if I'm not going to give something, I'm not going to take something, including food. So he fasted for several days. We're speaking, so we may take prasadam tonight. The devotee said his sadhana was really strict. And he tried to exemplify that. So he would take, he would wear tilak every day, he would do his japa every day, he would rise early, he barely napped, even though he rose early. He would attend all the artis. That was his nature. He was just very fixed, like Prabhupada, our own Srila Prabhupada. He himself used to attend morning and evening programs and say for the disciples, that's the way to, and for the people who are leaders in the temple, that's the way to show by example, is that you attend the morning and evening programs. Strong determination. Even when people were unenthusiastic to receive Krishna consciousness, he would want to give Krishna consciousness. Powerful presence. When Bhaktisiddhanta would come into a room, the whole room would shiver a little bit. He was focused, he was intense, the devotee said that his eyes, you couldn't bear the glance of his eyes. There's one person, let me get the name right, his name was Maharaj Adiraj Vijaya Chanda Bahadur, the long name, of Burdwan. So, he's a king, Maharaj. And he used to come in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's presence and pay obeisances and ask him questions and things like that. One day, he recounts this, his personal story. He says, I thought, I'm a king. Why should I keep bowing down to this? And he's just a sadhu. Why do I keep bowing down to him? I'm gonna test him. I'm gonna walk into his room and sort of challenge him and see what he does without offering him respect. Because I'm a Maharaj too, right? So he tried, opened the door, didn't pay obeisances, and he looked at Bhaktisiddhanta. He said, I have something to tell you. But before he could even wait for the response, he felt so ashamed about himself, he paid obeisances immediately. He didn't wait to see what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had as a response to his rudeness. That was the power of Bhaktisiddhanta. One time he was invited to someone's home, and around the home they had a moat, which is like a channel of water. And that place was filled with insects, midges, insects, flies, whatever. And Bhaktisiddhanta, with his disciples, was invited. As they walked into that house, the moat surrounding the house was became free of insects forever. It never came back. One time, Bhaktisiddhanta was traveling to Naimisharanya, where the Bhagavatam was spoken, and along the way they stopped at a pond. And he was at the step of the pond, and it said that the pond rose up to touch his feet and then went back down. And the devotees immediately took the pond as, oh my God, all of this Sharnamrit. Because Bhaktisiddhanta flipped to the other side, the Kusumapi Kamala, the softness of Bhaktisiddhanta. He did not allow people to touch his feet. Even his own disciples. In fact, if somebody came to touch his feet, he would immediately fold his hands and say, please. He had long arms, so they couldn't, get to it. And he would say, Dasosmi, I'm your servant. Don't touch my feet. So now they had all this pool of water, the pond, that they could all take as Sharnamrit. Mystic personality. Bhaktisiddhanta one time was in a morning class. He had given very strong message of detachment. He himself was an embodiment of detachment. So he told the devotees, detachment, detachment, detachment. Later that afternoon, he was writing on his desk, and there was some monkeys who came towards a storage room right next to his room and started to steal some bananas. Bhaktisiddhanta got up, took his stick. While doing that, the ink on his desk fell over and spoiled the manuscript. And he chased the monkeys away. One of his very smart Alec disciples said, Srila Prabhupada, didn't you just speak about detachment? What are you doing? These are just bananas. Bhaktisiddhanta said, these are Radha Rani's bananas for Krishna. I'm protecting them from the monkey. For the service of Krishna, we can do things. So that was the flip side. In the interest of time, I'll flip to go to the soft side of Bhaktisiddhanta. He was really compassionate. He had thousands of disciples. And his disciples, can you imagine, in those days, certainly now is certainly the case in India, but imagine in those days, we're talking about 120 years ago or so, people were so attached to their families. And these are young Bengali men, or even actually all over the world, all over the country. These are men who were very strong in their education. Smart individuals were attracted to Bhaktisiddhanta. They were very well accomplished educationally, they have very strong family ties, but they left all of that to take Bhaktisiddhanta's shelter. Why? Certainly the philosophy. He certainly had clarity of thought. His writings were powerfully lucid. At the same time, he was very loving. And it is not just philosophy that makes one stay in Krishna consciousness. Philosophy can bring one to Krishna consciousness, but what makes one stay in Krishna consciousness is the love that one experiences. And it's the love that these devotees, these disciples experience with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And especially during his last days, we can hear about how loving he was with everyone, giving them personal instructions. So that love kept them bound. In 1936, so just before Bhaktisiddhanta left, he was in a bullock cart. They were driving somewhere in Assam, in the eastern part of India. And as he was driving in the bullock cart, he was in the passenger seat. There was another bullock cart nearby. So you can't do this with cars anymore, except if you want to show some profanity or something. But you can have a conversation. So he had a conversation with somebody in the bullock cart. Young man, he just said, how are you? What's your name? What's your family? That's it. That boy was so moved by this saintly person asking about his welfare. Some mundane talk, so to speak. But that mundane talk touched him so much, he decided, I'm going to give my life to him. So in the next year, 1937, after Bhaktisiddhanta had left, he gave up his family, he gave up his education and joined the Math and became a sannyasi. Bhaktisiddhanta was very kind, even to animals. There was one time he was in a horse cart, and they were beating the horse and beating the horse and beating the horse. And he made a point to first instruct the chariot driver, don't beat the horse, and then he made sure that the leaders of whoever ran the system didn't hurt horses again. You see, that's even in Prabhupada's life. Prabhupada would see a sloth, a really ugly sloth, and all the devotees were like, oh my God, that's an ugly creature. Prabhupada had tears in his eyes, and he would say, chant to that poor creature. It was a level of compassion he had. In addition to compassion, he was truly humble. I share with you how he would tell devotees, Dasosmi. There was a large function in Jamshedpur, and thousands of people were in the audience. Bhaktisiddhanta walked up the dais to sit down in the asan, But before he did that, he paid obeisances to all of these thousands of people who had attended. They were shocked. They were like, who is this personality? They were expecting this Acharya. But he came and he paid obeisances to all of them. So they all spontaneously paid obeisances to him in response. That was his nature. Anyway, I think we're running out of time. There's a phrase used of Bhaktisiddhanta because he was so intent on giving Krishna consciousness to everyone. He was, for him, his family was the entire planet. There's a phrase called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudha means the earth. Eva means indeed. Vasudha Eva Kutumbakam. Kutumba is family. So the entire world was considered to be his family. And he would want to give Krishna consciousness to the entire world because he felt that kinship with every soul. He had that deep spiritual vision. Even Muslim children that were surrounding the Chaitanya Mat in Mayapur, he would call all the village children, mostly were Muslim kids. He would invite them and he would give them sweets. That was his nature. And then I'll conclude with his last day. He was with one of his disciples, was requested to sing, Naveen Krishna Prabhu was requested to sing Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajans. And one of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajan at the last line went like this: I'm extremely unfortunate. My attachment to the holy name has never come about. My heart is overwhelmed with sadness. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, just hearing this, started weeping. He slapped his forehead with his arm and he just started weeping. And this is a person who had like intense love for the holy name. He could be a billionaire chanting the holy name. But here he was feeling like, I have no love for the holy name, just before he left. This was his Kusumapi Kamala. I was thinking that our great fortune of life would be to, the greatest fortune would be to be in the physical presence of such a great person. Just imagine what it would be like to be at the feet and next to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura. So, he wanted us to preach Krishna consciousness and give this mission to everyone. And Prabhupada did it in just amazing ways, and Prabhupada's followers are doing it, and we're meant to be followers of Srila Prabhupada's followers, at least most of us. So, to get that audience to be with Bhaktisiddhanta, it behooves us to join his mission and give Krishna consciousness in whatever small way or big way that we can. That's my request to all the devotees here. Please bless me and us that we take up Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mission seriously, try to become his true follower, and ultimately get to be with him someday. Because that would be really, really special. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So prep time, during prep time, maybe anyone would like to ask a question or share a comment or a story that you would like to say about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta? Anyone? You don't have any? Yeah. Yeah, do you understand? Yeah, he said that I don't have any disciples. You're all my spiritual masters. Yeah. I look at you, that's why dasosmi, I'm your servant.
Yes, yes. Germany and London, and where else? Yeah. Yes. Yes, yes. So Prabhupada says actually here, this is actually a quote from Prabhupada. No, actually, no. This one. He tells Prabhupada to go, and then he actually predicts. He says the Gaudiya literature will be translated into all the languages of the world by the agents of the divine mercy at the appointed time. And then he says, as soon as a single person will have conceived the sincere desire of undertaking the promulgation of the tidings of the Gaudiya literature to the peoples of this world, he is thereby enthralled amongst the agents of divine mercy with the power to forward the fulfillment of this express wish of the Supreme Lord. The Gaudiya literature will no longer remain confined to the Bengali-speaking people. It will in a short time expand and display its full brilliance through the medium of all the languages, he predicted. Prabhupada, this not just, Prabhupada put it in English, but then all the languages, including, this is very interesting, including those of the birds, beasts, and vegetable tribes. So apparently, the literatures have also gone into the birds and the beasts and the vegetable tribes, the plants as well. So this is the power of the acharyas, right? Another thing I forgot to mention, that during his life, just as a normal course, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura used to chant 128 rounds every day. In addition to the sadhana that you had described, so he did the billion names, that was 300,000 names a day, but then daily he would do 128 a day. So virtually these people would not sleep. There's no way. He was, so amazing, huh? Yes. And Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakura, what he's famous for are his lectures, right? His speaking. So he said that his Hari Kirtan, that speaking the glories of Krishna is also Hari Kirtan. And his Hari Kirtan is constantly glorifying the names of the Lord. And by constantly glorifying and speaking about Krishna, he was 100% engaged in Hari Kirtan. Like he was constantly discoursing, constantly speaking. And when I read this, was that how so many of our great souls in our movement, for example, His Holiness Rompad Swami Maharaj, they're always speaking. And this is kind of the tradition that he set. This is their Sankirtan. He says, Hari Katha is a Sarup Shakti of Hari Nam. Just as Krishna is properly worshipped not alone, but with his Sarup Shakti, recitation of Harinam is incomplete and improper unless accompanied by hearing Hari Katha. So they both go together, yeah. So, yeah, that's a long answer to your question.
Prabhu, I think they're ready for the drama, so, okay. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You need a mic.
Mic.
We need two. We need two more. Okay, thank you.
जीव जागो गोरा चाँद बोले।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this material world to give the highest gift to humanity, love of Krishna. But some crooked people distorted for their own. Was a greatly compassionate Vaishnava in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He held a significant position as district magistrate in Jagannath Puri. He was overwhelmed with the enormous task of reviving Lord Chaitanya's teachings. He prayed to Lord Jagannath for guidance.
जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयना पथ गावे तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयना
Oh, Lord Jagannath, the pure teachings are fading, and I, in my old age, juggling social duties, lack the strength to revive them. I seek your help. Please, send an empowered soul who can spread the message of Lord Chaitanya. Please, send a ray of Vishnu.
Lord Jagannath is extremely merciful. He will certainly bless us.
Yes, you are right, Bhagavati. Our Lord is very kind. Bhagavati, Lord Jagannath appeared in my dream. He instructed me to go to Jagannath temple and pray to Bimala Devi in the courtyard.
She is the special internal potency of the Lord and only accepts the sacred food offered to Lord Jagannath. Let's go and let's pray to Bimala Devi right away.
On 6 February 1874, a child was born to Bhagwati Devi with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck and draped across his chest like the sacred thread worn by a Brahmin. There was happiness all around. Because he was born by the mercy of Vimala Devi, they named him Vimala Prasad.
I have read many horoscopes in my life, but I've never seen such a horoscope filled with all the signs of great personality. This child will become world famous as a brilliant creature of life's ultimate goal. That is love, Krishna.
Yes, Lord Jagannath is very merciful. When Bimal was just 6 months old, the Rath chariot stopped in front of my house. It stayed there for 3 days, despite all the devotees' efforts.
On February 6th, 1874, amazing. He's a completely independent Lord, performing everything out of his causeless mercy.
Yes, I told Bhagwati to take Bimal with her and see the Lord. When they got there, Bimal stretched his arms out as if to embrace the Lord, and in response, the Lord's garland fell right on the child. Right then and there, we conducted his grain ceremony using the Lord's prasad. Yes, he has sent a ray of Vishnu.
Bimal Prasad showed many signs of being a pure devotee of the Lord. As a baby, he embraced the Srimad Bhagavatam, showing his preaching inclination. By age 7, he memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita and could explain it. From age 11, he faithfully worshipped the Kurma deity given by his father. He also swiftly acquired skills in printing and proofreading from his father. In school, he excelled in Sanskrit, math, and astronomy, winning the title Siddhanta Saraswati for his book Surya Siddhanta. He carefully listened to his father's discourses on topics of Krishna. He extensively traveled to holy places. He served as the chief editor for the king of Tripura and read all books in the royal library, displaying an exceptional intelligence. He rejected material occupation and college studies because he considered them obstacles in the Lord's service.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Baba, you have taught me everything and made me a scholar of the Vedic studies. But I still feel discontented, Baba.
Unless one is completely surrendered unto Lord Krishna, the mind will never be pacified. Only a pure devotee can show you this true path of surrender.
But how will I find such a pure devotee? How will I find a guru? Please tell me, Baba.
Bimal, I'm very delighted that you are thinking about this. Please, go to my dear friend and great Vaishnava, Gaur Das Babaji, and beg for initiation from him.
Thank you, Baba. Please bless me.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why did you come again? I forgot to ask. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. I asked, and he said, I'm not qualified to be your guru. Go to a real guru. Go now.
Babaji! Without your mercy, my life has no purpose. I'd rather drown in the Ganges, carry on with body. I want to cultivate love for Krishna. Would Krishna understand? And I wonder why he accept me. I'm ready to take any test. Please do not reject me, please.
Nimo Prasad, your tears have washed away any impurities from your heart. Now, you come to a suitable place for Krishna to reside. Go, take a bath in the river, then I will initiate you. Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Always chant the holy names of Krishna. Today, I will give you the name Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayatadas. You will be eternal servant of Srimati Radharani. Go and preach the pure message of Mahaprabhu all over the world. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
In 1905, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati vowed to chant 1 billion names of Krishna, chanting a minimum of 192 rounds daily for 9 years. Living in a small ashram, he observed Chaturmas, sleeping on the floor and eating very plain meals.
He was known as the fearless lion guru. He strongly opposed any deviations in Lord Chaitanya's teachings. His powerful arguments caused pretenders to flee away.
All things
Why don't you mention the holy name? Start worshiping God. And the Mahaprabhu without any thinking. The holy name. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj debated against Brahmana, who asserted that only Brahmanas could be real. So-called Brahmanas. He established a printing press to publish his literature. After his father, Srila died in 1914, he continued his legacy by writing in 1915, his spiritual master left this mortal world.
Oh, Krishna, please be merciful to me. I couldn't become your devotee. I couldn't serve you.
Oh, Balaji! Please don't be alive! You you.
I wish you all my I cannot be Krishna. I am Krishna. I okay, I should not wait. Please, my soul, please, time, tired of the world, travel down, only man, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Do not touch the body. Babaji Samadhi will be to my ashram only. Babaji Samadhi will be in my ashram. We all know Babaji Move back. His Samadhi will be built in my ashram only. Why are you tying his feet? Babaji's last desire was that his body should be dragged in the dawn for purification.
Yes! This is foolish. Babaji was a pure devotee, and out of humility, he was thinking more of himself. He was a Lord Hamsa. He came to deliver all of us. Even Krishna would take this body on his head, and all of you want to drag him in the street.
Let's not waste time now. Let's fulfill Babaji's last desire.
Stop, everyone! I'm the only disciple of Babaji Maharaj, and only I have my own body.
You may be the only disciple, but you are not a sannyasi. How will you go to samadhi or renunciate?
Yes, I'm not a sannyasi, but I'm a celibate brahmachari. Are there any of you who are renunciates of spotless character? Is there any one of you who did not have a dominant relationship with a woman in the past 6 months? In the past 3 months? 1 month? Or even a day? And all of you claim to be renunciates of spotless character? And why make samadhi for Bhagavati
By the grace of Bhagavati Maharaj, I am not addicted to abominable activities.
By the grace of my Guru Maharaj, I'm not secretly addicted to abominable activities. And I do not cheat people in the garb of a king.
You have to cure it.
In 1920, he founded the Gaudiya Math to organize devotees for bhakti propagation. He initiated thousands, including Srila Prabhupada, established 64 temples, and propagated Krishna's message. He sent his book, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, to Europe with his disciple, Professor Sanyal. Fulfilling his father's desire, he established Daivi Varnashram. In 1935, he fell sick, but against his doctor's orders, he continued to preach, as he felt that it was better to preach with a sick body than to not preach with a healthy body. He wanted to die preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya.
Always good to do. All of it. Really good.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare.
Maharaj!
The great Acharya, a tireless preacher of Lord Chaitanya's pure teachings, the Lion Guru, left his body on January 1st, 1937. He laid the foundation for a global spiritual movement continued by his pure disciple, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you very much for encouraging these kids. These are, most of them, most of them are high schoolers. And really our humble gratitudes to Premananda Mataji to encourage all of us to, do some performance for this great Acharya. So Nandu was playing Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Adish Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, Aditya Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Gopinath Devotee Krishna Das, Manav Astrologer and Radha Raman Charan Das Babaji, Medha was Apasampradaya Guru, Lali was playing Bhagavati Devi and Apasampradaya Guru, and Janavi and Abhishri did narration. So, thank you very much. They all really wanted to say their lines. Few were really scared and few were really wanting to say their lines. I said, by mercy of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, we will present whatever we will present. So yeah, mic glitched a few times, definitely, and we took a lesson. Just the last part, 4 lines I wanted to read that might not have reached to you. That was a very important message of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. That please accept my blessings to you all, present and absent. Please bear in mind that our sole duty and religion is to spread and propagate service to the Lord and his devotees with cooperation of each other. Always look within and do not find faults with others. Always follow the path of pure devotion to Krishna given by Sri Rupa and Raghunath Das Goswami. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Please give a big hand to Amara Devidasi. And all the children. For the past, I think since we moved in here, it has been such a great pleasure to see our children who are very small to this is high schoolers, and under the care of such wonderful teachers like Amara and Mohan Leela Prabhu and the team of teachers. There are so many of them sitting around here. Honestly, I can say that, honestly, I can say that we have come a long way by the mercy of their lordships, and the quality programs that our children are presenting, it gives me the greatest happiness, and I'm sure it gives the great happiness to the entire community as well. These are no longer some untrained, some way of doing things. It's like they have invested themselves in memorizing and acting, and also I have to openly appreciate you for the delicate music, which was the background, which was so blended well with the children's performance, and beautiful characters assigned to each person, very nicely done. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the children. I want to thank Mohan Leela Prabhu and the rest of the teachers. And let us keep it up for all our programs. In fact, I reached out to Amara only a few weeks ago. You had to change your presentation to this, and in spite of that, it has come out so nicely. Thank you so much. Thank you, children, and thank you, Gopal Hari Prabhu and Yamuna Jivana Prabhu, for such a wonderful presentation. And it was a great pleasure. It sure was a wonderful evening for us. You know that normally speaking in a temple, when we celebrate the appearance day of Acharyas, it's done around 11 o'clock. And this time we purposefully did the offerings in the noon time, but the evening time we scheduled for doing the rest of the program, just to get the community come here. And we really appreciate all of you showing up. And I'm sure you are all rewarded by this children's presentation. Thank you again. Prasadam is served downstairs. Yeah.
Very important thing, Mataji. I want to really thank Sri Radhika Mataji. Hari Bol, a big Hari Bol, because she drove all the children to my home, to Palatine. It's not an easy deal. Always she took all these children. I mean, just Abhishri and Adish minus. But thank you so much, Sri Radhika Mataji, for your support. For, coordination is a big deal, which alone is very difficult for me, but you always supported. Thank you so much. That's why I could do it. Otherwise, it was difficult. Thank you. And also Kalpataru Mataji, who was always supporting, and she sent prasadam also for all the kids, for all of us, the whole family. And also Priyanka Mataji, Medha's mom, who sent prasadam. And of course, last but not the least, Manasi Ganga Mataji, for these all wonderful makeups that you are seeing. And Varsana Mataji for supporting in the back, little bit prompting here and there, whether they will forget some lines. So I'm really very grateful for this community to give this opportunity, and very supportive. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.